Hi guys, welcome to Tuesday Rates. James, what are rates doing today?
Well, the good news is they're not red for the most part, but they're not green also for the most part. So
All right, we'll take it.
what they're saying is rates are flat. So which means they're not going up, they're not going down, they're staying pretty the same. So 30-year fix, national average is 6.38, FHA 5.99, VA 6.01. Again, as we always say, these are average rates. I just quoted someone today on FHA with really good credit, like 5.375. So guys, as you look at these rates, don't think like they're the absolute best out there that Security Home Mortgage can offer. We're just quoting national rates. So people with lower credit scores, rates going to be higher. People with higher credit scores, they can potentially get better rates. So interesting fact, a few days back, the Fed met and they dropped interest rates a quarter point. Now everybody thinks that for some reason, people think when the Fed drops rates, they're dropping mortgage rates, and they're not the same thing. Okay, it's like the bank says their car rate is this, and you're thinking that's a mortgage rate. No, it's two totally different things. So the problem is the Fed did drop quarter point on their rates, but then they came back and said, well, inflation's not quite where we want it, so we're probably going to hold back in the future. We're not going to be as aggressive. And then that caused mortgage rates to actually go up a little bit. So we ended a little higher after that rate cut, which just doesn't make any sense, but that's how it goes.
Awesome. What's our Tuesday tip?
Well, last week was Veterans Day. And so I just want to kind of hit on VA loans really quick. So just a few bullet point items. So you have to be a veteran, obviously, to get a VA loan. These loans are backed or guaranteed by the Department of Veteran Affairs. So the VA doesn't write VA loans. A veteran has to come to a lender like us, and then we'll write it. Then they guarantee it, which means basically if the veteran defaults, the VA is writing out a check for the shortfall to the lender. So it makes it attractive to lenders. Okay, no down payment is required as long as they have the eligibility. Sometimes if a client has a VA loan already, hasn't sold that or will not sell it, wants to buy another VA, sometimes they don't have quite enough eligibility. So I'm looking at one that has like a $400,000 mortgage. They want to buy another VA loan for $600,000, but because they have the outstanding one, they're going to have to bring in about $65,000 to be eligible for a new VA loan. So it is doable. It's usually zero down unless they own other real estate with VA loans on it. Everybody knows that there's no monthly mortgage insurance, the VA, which is the best thing about the VA loan. They do have flexible credit requirements, so they're more lenient than conventional. So I've gotten people approved up to like a 55% debt to income ratio, which is crazy to do, and I don't like to do it unless I've got some income I can't count or something like that. There is a VA funding fee, and that's anywhere from 2.15% to 3.3% of the loan amount for subsequent use. If a veteran has a VA disability, that funding fee can be waived. Now, I've had some agents that got confused with this, and they seem to think all closing costs are waived if they have that VA disability, that the VA comes in and pays their closing costs. That's not the case. It's just the funding fee is waived. We still have to either get seller paid closing costs, the buyer has to pay those out of pocket, or we can do what's called premium pricing, where we bump the rate up and pay for those costs for the veteran that way. VA loans are only available for primary residences. You can't buy a second home. You cannot buy investment properties. You can turn them into investment properties after a year of living in it, just the standard occupy within 60 days and live in it for at least a year. The appraisal standards are a little bit tougher. We have to order through the VA appraisal network, and so we have to order through a VA appraiser, and we lose a lot of control there. So just be aware that your super fast closings probably are not happening with VA. VA loans are assumable, so someone has a 3% interest rate. Someone coming along does not need to be a veteran, can assume that loan and take it over. The problem is they just have to come in with the difference in cash. And if the person taking over the VA loan is not a veteran, my understanding is it's still possible for them to assume it, but then the veteran loses their eligibility. They may not be able to buy another VA loan if they let someone assume their current one. And then there's lifetime benefits, so that means they can do this as many times as they want. They can buy and sell homes with VA. They need to live in them for at least a year, but they can do that as many times as they want. There's no 1 or 2 times restrictions.
Such good information. Thanks, guys. Have a good week.